I'd like to build on what Mike said, because I've tried that myself. I spent much of 2008 lobbying the party apparatus to give us space on Liberal Party servers for a member community forum for discussing policy. That was en famille. They gave us that space. I was the administrator of that. In about a 5-month period between Christmas 2008 and the Vancouver Convention, we got 5,500 Liberals signed up for accounts and passwords on famille for debate. A lot of the Change Commission input came from that. Lots of enthusiasm. And then, no matter what I did, it gradually died. And the reason it died is because all of those people who were active, posting their ideas, realized that nobody in authority was actually listening. And that, my friends, is the missing piece of the puzzle. The party has to listen. You know, this is a button I don't wear very often, but it says no more lip service for those who can't see it. And the policy process has been lip service. I think many of you were here in Toronto when, after Canada 150, there was a great policy rally. I sensed that, you know, Mr. Ignatieff was there listening, you know, writing notes. I sensed a great palpable enthusiasm within there. And then, and particularly, there was a great session on Canada and the world. And a day later, the party released its Canada and the World. The Leader's Office released the Canada and the World. And the disappointment was palpable. They realized that this had been written before then. It was never mentioned. So everything they contributed was lip service. We're getting enthusiasm again now. We can't afford to repeat those mistakes. From now on, we have to keep listening and we have to act on what we have to say. And the president's job, which the question asks, is to make sure that that stuff is listened to by the leader's office, is listened to by caucus, and that makes it into platform.
Again, I concur with much of what Ron says, but to go back to your original question, how do you reconcile the urban Toronto Pinko cyclist and the Fort McMurray oil person? I do believe the party is starting to make efforts to connect Liberals. We do have a community space now in the website where members, as long as you register between yourselves, you can exchange, you can discuss and debate ideas. So far, it seems to be respectful, and I would like it to remain so. Obviously, not everybody's on the internet or is web savvy enough to be able to use that. So, facilitating even phone conversations between members who are interested in talking, either writing associations or between members. Those are the simple steps that we can make to get Liberals connected throughout Canada. We are a federal party. We've been a federal party for forever, since our creation. We should be creating the threads that will unite us as Canadians, with all our differences and all our wealth of richness and diversity, but finding the common thread. And just to go back to your example between the Pinko cyclist and the oil worker, I would think that both of you want prosperity. Bottom line, you want to feel secure in wherever you live. And starting from that point of view, I'm sure you will eventually find common values. So sometimes the easiest way is the simplest way. And offering Liberals opportunities to discuss and to involve themselves in these discussions without the party coming and interfering and running interference, like Ron was saying, with our famille, and then, or then ignoring what is being said. That is, bottom line, what has to be done. The party has to listen at the end.
Fantastic. So the reason it's left, there's so many questions. Just one point that we'll be sending out an email to everyone who's attended here. So if you do have more questions, or you had questions that unfortunately didn't get to be answered today, we will send out an email with the email addresses of all of our candidates, and you can directly address them. So we have time for one more question, and Ryan's.
Okay, I know we have a big lineup of questions, so apologies if we couldn't get all of you in, but we'll take one more here.
I'll be very, very quick. I'm Kathy Peel from St. Paul's, and I am a delegate. Very simple. Who's the boss, the president or the leader?
I'll answer first because I actually have to leave. I'm hosting a national town hall, telephone town hall this evening. I have to be back in Kingston so that I'm actually there when it starts. So I won't be here to shake hands and chat with you afterwards. But the answer is both. We have two heads of this party. We have a political head in the leader, and we have an organizational head in the national president and the board. And thank you all. It was really, really great being here.
I believe the leader is the head of the party, the official spokesperson of the party, and the president and the national executive are there to support the leader, but also to make sure that the leader hears what the members want. There's not necessarily a definition of boss, but certainly of a liaison officer, and that's what the president and the national executive should be between the membership and the leader's office and caucus. But the boss, ultimately, the official spokesperson and the official face of the party is the leader.
I think the official spokesperson for the party should be the person who's on the ground in every riding in the country. Mr. Harper has 40 official spokespersons called cabinet ministers, and in the Liberal Party we need as many boots on the ground as we can find. In terms of the president and the leader, I think that's a false debate because both the president and the leader have one objective, and that is to ensure that the country can reintegrate liberal values into a national government. And I think as president of the party, it would be my job to represent the party and to work with the caucus and leader to help make that happen and facilitate it. But I also think that one of the challenges and one of the reasons that we're in this in the first place is that successive presidents of the party ran because they were there as a putative representative for a single leader. And they weren't necessarily there to grow the party. So what happened was the leader changed, we had a whole new team. We actually had a whole team change in one of the provinces without even having an election. So I think the president's job is to support and represent the party and make sure that when the caucus and the leader are making decisions, that the party's view is heard. And at the end of the day, obviously the leader and the parliamentary wing deal on a policy basis, on an ongoing basis. But I think it is the job of the party and the president of the party to put the machinery on the ground that can help us actually do what we're all there for. And that is to reinvest small out liberal values into the psyche of the country so we can actually keep Canada sane. We're losing our country to a government that is almost operating as a dictatorship, and we can't afford to. We need every person in every riding in the country to be out there to speak for the liberal cause.
Thank you.
The next 2 years are absolutely critical for the party. I mean, we've got, for the first time in more than a generation, we're not in government, we haven't got an imminent election, we're not in some leadership race yet where we're kind of tearing each other apart or any of that. We finally can focus on what we should have done a long time ago, which is rebuild, revitalize the party, right? And that's what a lot of this discussion has been about. What's absolutely critical for the next 2 years, because every day will count, the window may not come again, is that there's role clarity, that people know what their role is, which is what your question, I think, is about within the party, and that there's cohesion. The leader's role is the official spokesperson for the party, the leader of the caucus, leader in the House of Commons, and the face of the party, period. What we've seen in the past sometimes is with the president of the party where they're, you know, seemingly on the television all the time, right? And wondering what they're doing there when they should be working on organizing the party, and you're not getting the answers you need from the party. You're wondering why you're not getting them when you're seeing the president on the TV. So what the hell's going on, right? So so that's my view. So you got to have very clear role clarity. The leader's job, when we've got 34 caucus members, can go around and be the spokesperson for the party across the country, and we should use the past candidates too up until the nomination freeze comes off as in that role as well. The role of the president of the party is to get the party in the best organizational shape that it can be for the next election, is to attract new members into the party, to reach out to supporters of the party, is to give voice to those members and supporters, and bring those voices to caucus, bring those voices to the leader, and sometimes it means, yeah, standing up to the leader, but that's not something that's done publicly, that's something that's done put behind closed doors. But they're two very, very, very different roles, and all across the party, we need role clarity in the next 2 years. All right.
I'm just going to turn it over really quickly to Mubarak to...
Just give us a couple more minutes, please.
Exit people, thank you very much, Sonia and Ryan, for having a wonderful debate. Thank you, Ron, Alexandra, Sheila, and Mike for coming here and have a lively debate. I hope so you guys have enjoyed all the answers given by these candidates. Also, I want to thank all the national executive candidates who came all the way from Ottawa and the different part of the country to be here in Toronto and representing the great Canada. I hope this will help you to decide in the next weekend who will be our National Executive Board members and who will be the president of the party. I want to acknowledge all the volunteers who spent a lot of time during the holiday days to organize this event and to make it successful. And special thanks to Toronto and all the people who came here on the Christmas holidays. Thank you very much for coming here. One last item, I want to be special thanks to Matt Sertissimo, the National Membership Secretary. He was kind enough that he hired me. Thank you very much for correction. Yes, that's it. Okay, so let me correct. He is the National Membership candidate, and he was kind enough that this hall was booked for his event, and he opened this hall for all the candidates, and especially for the presidential candidate. Thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the evening.